Oh, what's up, beautiful besties? Welcome into Turning Tides Tarot. My name is Alicia. Thank you all so very much for being here with me today. And on the Almost Daily here, as we read and tune into the messages that Spirit wants us to know most. So, if this reading did cross your path today, I have to tell you, I am picking up a very specific situation. Now, normally when I sit down to do a reading, it is because Spirit has shown me something. Sometimes I'll sit here and just do whatever comes out. But today is one of those days where Spirit was putting a sentence. I kept hearing this sentence. It's just an act. It's just an act. It's just an act. And I was very curious, of course. And I'm like, what's just an act? What are you talking about? Why do I keep hearing it's just an act? And so I sat down and meditated on the energy, and this is what Spirit was showing me. Okay, so this is going to be about that person who perhaps treated you as if you were some kind of option, bestie, which, first of all, not okay, right? Not okay. But this person definitely wasn't, they weren't keen to commit to a relationship. I feel like they wouldn't step up. I feel like there was basically a lot of conflict around them not acting right. Okay. Now, ultimately, at the end of the situation, I do feel like they ended up partnering up and choosing someone else over you. Now, okay, that cuts super deep, right? Of course it did. When they picked another person over you, I feel like it left you not only perhaps questioning your worth and your value and wondering what the hell was wrong with you, like why would they do this, I do feel like, you couldn't really understand why they made this choice. Okay. It didn't make sense because the connection seemed like it was going pretty well, besides that non-committal aspect of it. Like the two of you connected really deeply, and this would have been like extremely painful. Okay. Now, I have to say that it has been some time since this happened. And I do feel like that heartbreak, it didn't completely break you. I do feel like it did help you, first of all, um, become aware of the kind of partnerships you want in your life and what you don't want and what works, whatever, what doesn't. But I do also feel like it made you remember who the F you were. And it really started this glow up journey for you. Okay. I feel like you have leveled up your self worth, your energy, and your whole entire vibe, bestie. All right. Now, from time to time, and this is what this is all channeled here. From time to time, I do feel like you may have peeked at what they were up to, um, or whether this is on socials, or maybe you ran into them, or maybe you heard through the grapevine, about how they're in this happy new relationship, right? But you had this feeling like it felt like a performance. It felt like something just didn't add up, right? Like it wasn't right. There was something off about it. And I do feel like internally you knew that the person you were dealing with chose the path of least resistance, meaning they picked somebody who didn't require any depth, didn't require any growth. They could have been someone who was younger or more naive, or maybe just some kind of surface level type of connection here, just to kind of maybe stroke their ego, right? And I feel like your intuition was on point, bestie. From the start, you absolutely knew that this whole thing was just an act, right? This is what it all started with. This whole thing was just an act, this happy relationship, these staged photos that are being posted, or like you just feel like it's off, right? And I feel like Spirit's now confirming that you were right all along. Okay, so why is Spirit showing us this message? Why is this coming through so strongly today? That is one of my questions that we'll be answering, but I do have a bunch of questions that we are going to get down to the bottom of we're going to try to get our answers, okay? Including, why did they really choose this easy option over you? You did seem like you were clearly the better choice. Okay, bestie? Okay. Now, if this is your reading, you can go ahead and connect to the energy by liking or leaving me a little comment if you feel like that kind of energy exchange. Otherwise, watch your ears. I'm going to ring this owl, call in Spirit, and we'll start getting to the bottom of this energy. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm calling on Spirit with so much love and so much gratitude. I ask for divine guidance as I interpret these messages. May they help us all on our journey towards our highest and greatest good. I'm asking for love, joy, peace, abundance, and protection for myself, for you, and for all beings on the planet at this time. Thank you so much, Spirit. Okay, let's see. The Three of Wands coming up already. I just feel like, you are over here. I feel like this is just coming out to acknowledge the fact that you're over here. You maybe have already moved on entirely from this situation, but it is, again, coming up for some reason. You are looking out to the future. I feel like you have made some steps at the very least to move forward in your own world after this all has, played out for you. Okay. Now, my first question is, why did they really choose this easy option instead of committing to you, my love? Okay, let's find out. Why did they really choose this easy option? Three of Pentacles. Okay. Seven of Pentacles. I don't know why the cards are feeling a little stiff today. We have the Devil wanting to pop out. I think this one wants to come out too, and the Ace of Cups. Okay. All right. I'm just going to pop the bottom of the deck energy here, the 10 of Wands. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just going to pull this to the side because it just, that was just for you. Okay. And this fits nicer. All right. Let me tune into this energy. Okay, here's what I'm seeing. Okay, you were really waiting for this person to actually put the effort in, right? To build something real and solid with you. But let's be so for real. This is someone who loves the idea of relationships, like when it's all fresh and exciting and new. But the minute it gets real, the minute it requires consistency, accountability, or any kind of emotional depth, boom, it's like suddenly it's too much, right? And let me be super clear with you. It is not that it's not that you were too much, okay? It's that they can't handle anything serious, okay? And I feel like this is something you probably already know. But they can't even manage their own emotions, let alone rise to the level of what you're asking for, okay? And this Devil energy here, that's what it tells me that you were dealing with somebody who has like attachment issues, probably the fearful avoidant vibe. Okay. This is the kind of person who really gets triggered and shuts down and freaks out and runs. Okay. From anything real, from anything serious. So yeah, I mean, even though I feel like, they did feel this connection with you very deeply, and I do see that with the Ace of Cups, right? They still chose the easy options. And why? Because, well, first of all, they like to feel adored, okay? They like being with someone who isn't going to trigger their insecurities, and someone who doesn't make them face their shadow, okay? Someone who strokes their ego instead of calling them out on it, and whatever that, okay, fine. But I got to tell you, at the end of the day, I just feel like, they weren't strong enough to carry. Okay, weird. My camera just cut out as I was speaking. Um, And I don't know why, but I'm going to try to pick up where I left off. I was saying that they aren't strong enough to carry the weight of a real grown-ass relationship. Okay, so this is why they chose this path of least resistance, right? It's because they're not equipped to handle the seriousness that comes, with being with you, right? They're just not equipped to handle it. So, what is the truth about this connection that they ran towards? That's what I want to know. What's the truth about the connection that they ran towards, please? What is the truth? We have the Five of Swords, the Moon, the Star, the King of Swords. Interesting. What's at the bottom of the deck? We have the Queen of Cups. Hmm. Okay, so here's the tea. This whole relationship they jumped into, it was built on illusion from the start. Okay. That moon card tells me straight up there's confusion, deception, and a whole lot of things, again, that just don't add up here. I feel like they thought they were going to win some kind of prize here with the Five of Swords, like it was going to be a victory for them, but really, that's just empty validation. It's all ego here. The star, this shows me that they're chasing like wishful thinking, bestie. Like they honestly believed, oh, if someone like you loved me, then I can find that same type of deep, unconditional love in someone else too, but with way less effort. Spoiler alert, that's not how this works, okay? That's not how any of this works. The King of Swords energy, they wanted to stay detached. They wanted to keep it logical and not get emotional. Okay. Basically, they thought they could still act cold and keep their walls up and somehow get the benefits of love without actually showing up for it. And the Queen of Cups sitting under the deck, I mean, I feel like that's you, bestie. I really do. Because you're the one who really loved them fully and deeply and, of course, emotionally, right? And they thought, they could find your energy and someone else and still stay in their little ice cube King of Swords mode. Okay. Reality check. They couldn't. They couldn't, right? So the truth about that connection is that it was really a projection. It was an act. And, it really has never lived up to this fantasy that they created in their head. Okay. It hasn't. It's not. It still isn't, right? But I have another question that I wanted to weave in, and this is going to be directed back at you because I want to know how Spirit used this rejection, right, to activate your glow up. And then we're going to get into why this is even coming up, more about their relationship. Ugh, I just got more questions. So, how did Spirit use this to activate your glow up? Use this rejection to activate your glow up. Okay, the Hierophant, the Eight of Pentacles, the Four of Wands. Okay, we have here the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, this is nice. Okay, and the Queen of Pentacles. Nice. All right. Bestie, this is gorgeous energy. I have to really say that this rejection here, it wasn't a loss, okay? It was literally the catalyst that pushed you straight into your becoming, right? The Hierophant here is all about stepping into your role as a leader, a teacher, or a guide in some way, right? So it's not just about healing yourself. This has been about you mastering your own lessons so deeply that now you're able to turn around and inspire, guide, or teach others through your experience, right? So Spirit leveled you up, in a spiritual way. You've been leveled up in a spiritual way after this whole situation. And the Eight of Pentacles, I mean, it shows me that you've been doing the work, right? You took that pain, you alchemized it. Okay, you turned it into power. You've been refining yourself, sharpening your skills, and building a foundation that's super solid for yourself. So this is you investing in you, right? In your healing, in your craft, and in your own future. And with the Four of Wands, I mean, it tells me that, this rejection cleared the path for you to find like true joy and stability, although it maybe didn't feel like it at first. Okay. Like I know that. But it really shifted your energy and it has helped to shift your energy toward building something real for yourself. Okay. Something that you can celebrate, something that you can actually rely on, your own stability, your own foundation, your own self mastery, right? It really turned your focus back onto yourself. And with the Ace of Pentacles here, I mean, Bestie, it's Spirit's dropping this new blessing into your lap because you chose yourself, right? So this is new opportunities and abundance and long-term success, and it's all stemming from this one heartbreak. Okay. It's all coming through because of this, right? And of course, with the Queen of Pentacles under the deck, I mean, that is you sitting in your self-worth, okay, radiating confidence and nurturing your own empire, right? Spirit literally redirected you from someone who couldn't value you to a timeline where you value yourself so deeply that you have become the ultimate prize, So the rejection, we always say rejection is God's protection, spirit's protection, whatever name you place on the higher power, but it was actually your initiation into your glow up season, like period. Okay. That's what this was. But your girl likes a tea. I need to go back and see, what cracks are starting to show in their relationship now that, you know, no, how do I want to word this? What cracks are showing in their relationship? Okay, what cracks are starting to show in their relationship? That, it's confirming basically that you were right all along, because it's true. You were right about this from the jump, okay? Okay, now this is interesting. We have the Sun, we have the Fool. What's this over here? The Ace of Swords. Oh my, okay. All right, Spirit, dropping the tea, the Five of Wands, and what's under the deck? Two of Wands. Very interesting here. Okay, so here's the thing, all right? On the surface, this whole connection was projected like this perfect new beginning, right? The Sun and the Fool here, I mean, this energy is giving full on like Instagram highlight reel vibes, right? Like, look at us, we're so happy, so free. This is everything I ever wanted, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but then we hit this Ace of Swords in reverse, and Bestie, survey says that was a lie, okay? Or as Maury would put it, like, I don't know if you know Maury or if that's dating me or what, but the results are in, and that was a lie, very dramatic, Spirit. That's why I gave a little chuckle when it came out. It's like, oh yeah, that was a lie. Because behind the scenes, I mean, we have the Five of Wands here, and that's fighting and conflict and this constant tension. So things aren't smooth sailing, all right? They're clashing, they're arguing, they're definitely not on the same page, okay? It's basically the exact opposite of this bliss that they were trying to project out to the world, right? And then at the bottom of the deck, we've got this Two of Wands, and this is them low-key, like looking out at the horizon, like, did I make the right choice? Is this really it? Okay, there's a whole lot of like a second guessing going on. Okay. So yeah, I mean, Bessie, well, look picture perfect from the outside, Spirit showing us that it's basically chaos on the inside. Their little new beginning really isn't giving happily ever after. Oh, it's giving buyer's remorse. Okay, it's giving buyer's remorse here. So why is Spirit? This is this is what I really need to know. This has all been leading up to this question, at least for me, because I want to know, why is Spirit bringing this situation back up now, right? And what do we need to know about their regrets versus our power? Okay, so let's find out. Why is Spirit bringing this? Spirit, why are you bringing this back up now? Okay, what do we need to know here? What's going on? Why are you bringing this up? Why are we bringing this up? Why are we bringing this up? Okay, we have the Lovers. Okay. Let's see. We're going to get our answer. The Six of Wands. 2 sixes out. The Six of Cups. 3 sixes in a row. Holy. Okay. The Three of Swords, and what's at the bottom of the deck? The Queen of Wands. And the Ace of Wands. So we've got 3 queens out in the deck, and the Wheel of Fortune. Now, when I get 3, oh my gosh. Okay, y'all heard me say, when I get 3 queens out in a row, it always makes me think about the queen that hasn't shown up yet, right? And that's probably the energy that you are in towards them right now. And no word of a lie, when I pulled the Wheel of Fortune, boop, the 4th queen. Okay, when you add all 4 queens up, who do you get? You get the Empress. Okay, so you are definitely in your divine feminine energy, embodying all of these aspects of every single queen here when it comes to this person. So I feel like right now we do have you showing up with your boundaries in check. Okay, BS detector on point with the Queen of Swords, but I'm just going to put her down. Okay, regardless of your gender, that's not a thing here. Okay, so let me get into the whole reason why we're here today. Okay, so first of all, we need to talk about these 3 sixes for a minute here, because in numerology, 6 is the number of like harmony, balance, peace, alignment, and choices. Okay, so when you get all 3 sixes like this coming up, or not all three, but when you get three, Spirit's basically highlighting some karmic lessons and realignment. All right. So, it wasn't some random situationship, Bestie. And I feel like you know that. And that's probably one of the reasons why we are here today reading this, because this was a fated connection and it was absolutely designed to push you into your power for sure. That's one thing I know for certain. And to see the Lovers and the Six of Cups together, that is always giving soulmate vibes, right? Past life ties, and definitely bonds that are meant to come into your life, to trigger deep transformation. Okay. The Lovers is all about a choice and they chose wrong. Like, let's just call it, right? But the Six of Cups also reminds us that this wasn't an accident. Okay. This person was part of like your soul contract, right? They were meant to come in and they were meant to crack you open so that you could rise. Okay. So they were a catalyst for you. And the Six of Wands, I mean, that just shows the glow up. It's not just spiritual, it's public, it's visible. And I feel like you're really being recognized for who you are now. Like, you came out of this heartbreak, like, hello, Three of Swords, right? Not just stronger, but like completely magnetic with the Queen of Wands, right? This is you in your full power, okay? You're radiant, you're confident, you're freaking irresistible, okay? You're turning heads everywhere you go. And with the Ace of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune here at the bottom of the deck, that's fate flipping the script, okay? There's a total twist of destiny. Right now, Bestie, you're in the right place at the right time. And Spirit saying, like, look, you kind of had to go through this heartbreak so that when this karmic cycle turned or when it ended, you'd be really ready to step into your own power. So I feel like why are we here today? I feel like it's because Spirit's wanting to confirm that everything you suspected about this connection was true. It was fated, it was karmic in that sense where there was a lesson, okay? Not, I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I feel like it was meant to be, the very thing that really catapulted you into the version of yourself that you are now, okay? And so, I mean, their regrets, that is their burden to carry, okay? And I know that your power here is your destiny to live, but I gotta tell you, we already know that we already know that they're over here questioning whether they made the right choice or not, right? Okay. And your girl isn't nosy. And so I am going to pick this up in an extended. I am going to take a look at whether anything has really shifted for them, and of course I give no guarantees, but this is what we do. We look into it deeper in the extended if you feel called to join and if you feel called to offer energy exchange, again, for the work that I do. And I, of course, always appreciate it. But we're going to find out, if Spirit's pushing them towards making a different choice, choosing a new direction because of all these doubts, right? Because this isn't giving what they expected, right? We're also going to dive deeper into what's really going on in their heart right now and the regrets that are showing up and whether this turning point in their story has them rethinking everything about you, okay? Because again, it's showing up for another reason, I believe, okay? So if you are ready for the deeper tea, the link for the extended will be pinned to the top comment, and I hope to see you there. If not, I will see you in the next reading here, Bestie, and thank you for being here. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. And for anyone who is new, if you came across this reading and you're not part of our amazing tribe, we would love to have you. All you have to do is subscribe to be part of an amazing tribe full of incredible humans all over the world. Okay. Anyway, that being said, I'll see you in the extended or I'll see you in the next reading. Take care, Bestie. Okay, Bestie, welcome to the extended reading. Thank you so much for your energy exchange. Let's just jump right into this. Your girl is curious and she's nosy. Okay, so now that they're over here questioning their choices, okay, has anything actually shifted in their energy? Let's find out. Okay, we're starting with that Three of Pentacles again. Interesting. Back to the drawing board, Back to the drawing board. All right. So we have the King of Cups, the Five of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and what's at the bottom of the deck? Ooh, two heavy hitters. And I got to pull two because when I see justice, I'm not ignoring it. Okay. Seven of Wands, and Justice. Let's get into this.